track day, 20th.
Action.
Don't whack him.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're on pause.
We're back.
We're on pause.
Off the pause. Do apologise about that. I think there was something going on in the comments where people weren't going to be able to make put in comments, and we do need that for tonight because we want people to be able to ask questions to our special guest.
But on that note, can you try, I don't know, saying something in the comments just to see, make sure that they are coming through? That'd be great.
Yeah, throw out a comment.
But while people are doing
Let me know how
that,
good I look tonight.
while people are doing that, we'll
debatable.
run through a couple of events that are coming up. So on the 9th of May, we've got our
On track. From 5 to 10.
roll racing. We'll set up an event for that, so keep an eye on the events tab. There'll be happy laps, roll racing, TJ stunts will be doing some stunts. We're gonna have DJs out there. Normally they've got the bikinis, washer out there, chicks.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the side.
Might have to bring the mankini out.
Yeah, you could join it. Yeah.
I reckon I'll probably get more money than they will.
We'll be out in the sheds, and it's a really good night. Lots of food, everything's happening.
Good bit of fun, eh?
They are
Bit
good
of
nights. They
competition.
are very good nights out there. And for those of you that haven't done happy laps or roll racing, jump on it. Throw a couple of messages out on the Facebook page and things like that. Ask some questions. We'll be able to, or just keep watching the lives, and we'll fill you in as we go, getting closer to the dates.
Yeah, happy laps at night time is quite a bit of fun.
That was hectic. The last one.
Yeah, it was like 60 plus bikes
Yeah,
out
it
there.
was so good to watch
60,
as well.
63, 64,
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it was really
so
good
that
to
was
watch.
really good. So yeah, that's happening.
Yep.
Then track days and happy laps.
Track days. We got
Yeah.
6th of July, so that's our next happy laps. Well, after our roll racing event.
So that's the full
after.
track day, 6th of July.
6th
That's
of
full
July,
track
full
day.
track day, and then we've got the last one for the end of the year. So the last one they're very doing, which is the day that Josh and them will be drawing the, I think the R3, isn't it?
I think they got an R3 this time.
It's an R3, so Shannon's and QR will be drawing an R3, so we will be there for their last 20th of December.
20th of
The
December.
last one of the
20th
year.
of December.
Yeah, ready
Track
for
day.
Christmas.
Happy laps.
You're going to have to remind me again.
Keep an eye on the events tab, mate. That's what you need to do.
He can't keep an eye on his own tab.
Oh, I can't. I
Yeah.
can't. Without
Really
you
good
guys,
fun.
I'm lost.
Other than that, we're going to be doing our regular F&Rs. They're getting better and better. We're trying to look for new things to do, make it more exciting. And yeah, we're hopefully, once it starts to cool down a little bit, we want to try and do fortnightly F&Rs and, make up for that by doing a day ride.
Day rides,
Yeah,
weekend
'cause
rides.
it's going to get cold. Everyone's going to be freezing at night time on an F&R. Still a load of fun, but the following week we'll mix up with a bit of day riding.
So in regards to F&Rs, where are we this week? Are we here this week or?
We're at Freedom Fuels.
Freedom.
So,
So
yeah.
just remember, fam, for those of you that don't know, we're doing every fortnight, we're doing FNRs from here onto HQ, TT Diner at Harcherfield.
Didn't know that was a place.
TT Diner at Archerfield. Every fortnight we'll be running the FNRs from here, so you can come down a bit early. We've got some cool things. We've got a good chill out zone that we're organising. We've got air hockey table, foosball. I just got my ass handed to me down on the new games console as well. So there's plenty of things for you guys to come. Like if you want to bring the kids and stuff like that before the FNRs. I know a few people do that. So yeah, just remember that fortnightly from here onto HQ.
Yep.
What else we got? Just another quick reminder for the away trip.
Yep.
Oh, yes. So, yes,
June.
got to make sure. June 12th to the 17th.
Oof. Had to think about that one.
Yeah, had to think about that one. The event is already up. Make sure you jump on that event. Read all about it. If you've got any questions, post up in the event itself.
Yeah.
And someone will get back to you about any other questions you have. Or if you're looking for a place to stay and you want to get a little group together or something like that, post that up into the comments in the event as well, and people will have that opportunity to be like, yeah.
Or if you're a little bit shy and you don't want to go public with your posts and stuff like that, feel free to flick me a message or something like that.
Yeah.
On
Lockie.
Messenger or Lockie.
Yep.
So Lockie's,
Yeah, we'll definitely get back to you.
Yeah, Lockie's going to be running this away trip, so
No pressure.
any questions
pressure,
and stuff, feel free to hit Lockie up as well, and he's a lot more informed of what's going on than even us are, what we are. So
Well, I should hope so. You organised it.
yeah. So any questions
Be
you
worried
may
if you
have,
didn't.
feel free to flick him a message as well. Yeah,
All right.
that's pretty good. I think that's everything.
Is that
Have
everything
we
covered?
covered everything?
I'll just check that.
Did you need to cover
that's-
MotoGP?
That's news covered.
Oh, you're not touching that.
Nah,
one.
Marquez DNF, so it doesn't matter. we don't need to. We will, yeah.
He won the sprint, fair and square.
Nah, well, we've got a special guest here. I've invited this special guest. I've been waiting a long time for us to get our act together, so I can bring this person on.
That's
you.
That's
Get
us.
your act.
No, that's us in
That's
general,
no, it's not us.
As
You
a
can't-
collective.
No,
as a collective.
no, I'm not taking that. No.
But I am super excited to have this person here. I've been following him for about a year now, and just watching the things that he's been doing. And he is a workaholic. He's putting in a lot of time into his passion, which is our passion. Probably a little bit of a different side to what we do as motorbike riders. But I'm very happy to have TJ Stunts here, one of Australia's best stunt riders and the creator of the ASRC competition. So welcome, brother.
Go on, bring it in.
Bring
it in.
Very good. How you going?
Hey guys,
Hello.
made me sound good there, brother. I think part of the reason I haven't been in might have been my own fault too. You've tried a couple of dates. We've clashed a couple times.
Oh, look, I understand how busy you are. Just seeing what you did on the weekend. So for those of you that don't know what TJ's been doing, like this is just a little insight. So on the weekend, he was down in Sydney at Sydney Motorsports Park doing the ASBK. He had a show on at ASBK on the Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, and then he left Saturday, drove through the night to get back here to QR to be at the Drift Matsuri. Is that what it was called? Drift Matsuri?
Yeah.
To do a show there. So like that is gangster. That just shows how hard this guy is grinding. So that's one of the reasons why I want to get him on as well. So man, thanks heaps for coming on.
No, thanks for having me, guys.
Do you want to just introduce yourself and just let everybody know like what you're all about?
Yeah, like pretend they've never met you before.
Okay, well, I'm TJ Stunts. As far as you know, I'm the best stunt rider in Australia. Definitely the best looking one. I ride a Harley
Lucky
Davidson.
I'm not a stunt rider.
Disqualified, mate.
He's a fan. He's got a t-shirt on.
Yeah, I am.
So I stunt ride on a Harley Davidson Sportster, and I've got a dyno in the works as well, but that one's a little bit more tricky. I know there's a lot of guys out there on them, but I want to ride my dyno the same way I ride my Sporty. A bit more technical, but we'll see how that goes. I travel around Australia doing stunt shows. I also created and host Australia's biggest stunt riding competition, as you guys have seen, ASRC. So we had our first one last year in November. We pulled 45 riders from all over the country.
It was a great event too.
Yep, I was so proud. I actually stood back, my partner and I actually put just as many hours in as I did. Nat and I we've walked off, gone and signed in, come back, and we've seen this massive event. And we're like, wow, we did that. That's cool.
Yeah.
The part of that for me was I had to try and squeeze a ride in myself because all of my friends are in one spot, which never ever happens.
Yeah.
So I was more excited to like stop being in charge for a little bit and jump on my bike
Just get on and
for
have a
little bit
ride.
there.
It must have been just a great feeling to see what you'd accomplished, right?
Well, it was the fact that it actually worked.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you've got a vision in your head, but I've never tried to pull off anything like this before. I got a lot of help. A lot of sponsors come on board and helped us to cover the costs, and Queensland Raceway really backed me, helping me get permits and licenses and all of it across the line, because I just wouldn't have been able to do it myself.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I'm good on a bike, and I can talk. But other than that, guys, I'm just out here winging it.
Yeah.
So to see it actually come together on the day, that was a little bit teary.
Yeah, man, and as you should be as well, right? Because it's a lot of. I know Perry, you'd probably be the same with like Perry and no, but Perry and Sherbs, like with what you guys have done with On2Crew, it's like it's a lot of hard work that you guys put in, and then to see the fruits of what comes of it, like even for me, like I get excited when I like look back on the bike night videos and stuff. I'm like, man, you know, I was doing all that sort of stuff, you know, like so. Yeah, no, it's, and I just going.
Well, that was done for a long time there, for probably since about 2012 was the first show I ever did. I used to ride for the Hot Wheels stunt team. And that was off and on for many, many years. Mainly because my personal situation, I'd move interstate and I'd give it a rest for a while, trying to support the family. And when you're chasing something like riding a bike, you might not always get paid.
Yeah.
Or you're not getting paid enough to cover the bills. You got a mortgage, you got kids, you got stuff to pay for. So every now and again, I'd take a break, and then I always got called back. Like, I'd just end up miserable. Didn't matter how much money I was making or what I was doing. I would always end up, okay, guys, can I come back? Can I come ride? And they always gave me my place back. I always came back and rode for the team. But last year, I actually stepped back from their team and I went out on my own, which was a huge deal because I thought, wow, now really, if I fail, it's really on me. There's no excuses.
Yeah.
I can't blame anybody else. But one of the great things that happened from that was seeing all the people that have watched me for all of these years, like I've been doing this with nearly 13 years, that have been watching me come and go. They were all excited to see me do it with my own name on my chest.
Yeah.
And therefore, a whole bunch of opportunities opened up. So I went to Queensland Raceway and said, look, guys, I know I do 1 or 2 on my own, but I've left the team. Is there anything you can help me, any extra shows I can pick up, anything I can do? And they said, well, you've harassed us for years about holding a stunt competition because nobody's had one here. I know some guys in Perth did a couple of years ago, but it was Harleys only. It was very small and it looked really cool, but I wanted something that would incorporate, like we did supermotos, we did sports bikes, and we did Harleys.
Yeah.
And they had their own heats, but then the finals, they had to battle each other.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was really good to see too, because you're standing on the sidelines and everything, and you'd be seeing them coming around and they're doing their like burnout or whatever, and just like you could just see their like you couldn't see their like face, but like you could see the excitement coming out of their helmet.
You could.
As soon as they were like coming towards you and they're like doing a skit or something, and then
all the smiles,
another bike would come up beside them, and they'd just like look at each other, and you just knew they were.
I noticed a lot of that in the practice as well. Like
Yes.
I was watching a lot of the practice, and you could just see like everyone out there like
Having a good time.
just taking in the atmosphere and just.
Well, it's like you guys know, no matter what sort of discipline of riding you're doing, everyone sticks to their groups.
Yeah.
You got the Harley guys in the corner over there. You got your sports bike guys. You got your sumo guys, and everything in between. Everyone sticks to their own, but we really didn't give them a choice. Said, look, guys, what you do is cool. What you do is cool, and what you do is cool. Now watch each other.
Yeah.
And what it did was G each other up. So like even myself, I come from a sports bike background. I got on the Harley because I jumped on a mate's one and went, wow, this is sick.
Oh, that's how you got into doing the Harley?
And well, Mingo had a spare one in the shed, and he's like, well, I've got a spare one there. We could ride the same bikes together when we're doing shows. So I bought it off him. And turns out I was actually more comfortable on the Harley than I was the Jap bike.
Really?
Yeah, even after years and years on the Jap bike, the Harley, it clicked some certain tricks like that one.
Yep.
I could do on a Harley, but I couldn't do that on a Jap bike. So all of a sudden I felt like I was a better rider because the bike was more suited to me, I guess, mentally, physically.
Yeah.
I got a bit bigger so I can ride a Harley now. Got a bit older as well. But that was cool because I already understood the fact that I love both. But most riders have picked their side and very few cross over. So when they rode together, the sports bike guys are like, wow, those Harley dudes are way faster and way more exciting. And then the Harley dudes are like, wow, that's a really cool technical trick. Wonder if we can do it.
Yeah.
So now people are out there trying to do stuff that from each other's.
Yeah, there's like,
So was that one of your goals, like in creating this, is like bringing your community, like
Tear down some
your
walls.
community together, and just because it's the same in the normal community, right? It's like you got Harley riders, sports bike riders, and and that's what we try to do with our F&Rs is bring everybody together and just say, hey, it doesn't matter what you ride.
Well, and we all think that they've got an ego. They've got an ego. We've got an ego. I've got an ego. Just get it out of the way for a minute. We love motorcycles.
Have some fun.
Let's ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
And you soon realise you don't care what anyone's riding.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, cool, that's awesome. Some of these boys have gone and bought Harley since then. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, myself, I watch, well, because I ride the Harley now, I've now gone out and said, well, I want a sports bike again because I want to be able to do both. So now my shows, I plan in the very near future to be turning up with my Sportster, which is my main bike, and I want a 636 because unless I'm paid to ride one or the other, why not ride both? I'm capable.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and it opens up. So I'm not doing one show. Say I go out on the track 3-4 times a day. I'm doing 3 or 4 shows that are basically the same thing. Like I'm trying to go out there and do one fast and exciting, one a bit more technical, and then you repeat.
Yeah.
So if I can at least swap bikes because I've got different tricks on different bikes.
Yeah.
That's going to expand the show a little bit better. It helps me, get back to my roots and loving the Jap bikes.
Yeah.
And maybe it will help people see that you can do both and not have to give a crap about.
You're gonna have to get a bigger van.
I am actually.
Might have to get you a truck license for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
right.
No, see, that was the best part. Like, being on the Hot Wheels team, I had something to aspire to. The only person that had ever done it that big was Mingo. And for years and years and years, and I said it to him when I left the team, I said, mate, for years I wanted to be you. I said, now I want your success, but I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
And what I did realise was as his team grew and got bigger, and it was great. It was amazing to see it happen and be a part of it. But I saw the costs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, you didn't get paid any extra when you used to have a van and a trailer to hold back until I really need to do something.
Yeah.
Instead of
The big cost.
watching, we're just saying, oh cool, that's the
Yeah, well,
he did it. He's done it for 30 years. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I love that you've just said that is like you aspired to, like, you've seen a goal. I see a lot of people wanting to do stuff, and it's like, yeah, they look at their idols and things like that, and they just want to like be like their idols and do it the same way. But
Exactly.
like saying, yeah, I do, like, I love what you've done.
Yeah.
But I think I can do it differently.
That's right.
And I really love that about you.
And look, I could be wrong, and you don't know until you try either. Like everybody, whether it's me or anybody else, you watch someone do something you wish you were doing, and in your brain, I could do that better. I know what I wouldn't do that way. Not saying that that's what I thought personally, but everybody sees something and thinks, oh, I wouldn't do it like that.
Yeah.
So
Something different.
for me to look at it and go, I do want to do that, but I can't be you. You've done you. You are you.
Yeah.
I'm me, and that
But
seems
just
to be,
seeing that, seeing that self-realization as well, right? Is
I
like
think that came with age. Yeah.
Zane's still
We won't
working
go.
on that.
We won't go there. We won't go there. But yeah, I don't know. I guess saying like going back to you talking about wanting to go back to your roots. Let's take it back there, all right?
All right.
Where did you start out? Like not even stunt riding, just riding in general.
So the first time I touched a bike, I was about 6 years old, and then we just didn't have anything for us. We didn't. I come from a family with like there's 10 kids all up between the two of us, so we didn't have bikes. We couldn't afford them. Always loved them. And then when I was old enough to start driving and everything, my best mate was sitting there planning what car are we going to get? What are we saving up for? And Tom, who would always tell me he wants a bike. So we bought cars, and then he turned 18 about 2 weeks before me, and we're living in Melbourne, so he couldn't drive yet. And he pulls up on a little 250 CBR, and oh man, that was the coolest thing in the world.
Bringing his nuts off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it screamed, and he's like, "Bro, do you want to have a ride?" I rode that. I used to steal that bike every chance I could. I had no license for a very long time, but I used to steal that bike every chance I could, and then
We didn't do that.
Yeah.
yep.
We don't condone that. Sorry.
That was a long time ago. Don't do that. But I think it was maybe 2 or 3 months later. I sold my car and bought a bike, a little it was a Suzuki, one of the ones that had the helmet.
Suzuki.
Yeah.
Good man.
Well,
Yeah, I like that.
it had the tank was under the seat, so the actual tank lifted up, and you could put your helmet in it
Oh.
when you park. Yeah, it was just this
You didn't buy a scooter.
crappy little. No,
It was a Sebespa.
It's the best.
I can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head,
What
but
with your helmet under your...
yeah, the tank wasn't a tank; it was under the seat, so that hump actually fit your helmet or your groceries or anything else you wanted to
damn,
put in there
like-
that you weren't supposed to.
can't
But
say
it all
Get one of
fit.
those.
Yep, it was a terrible bike.
Yeah.
It was slow. I got run over by someone doing a skid on it in a car, and I was trying to get out of their way, and I just couldn't move fast enough, so they ran me clean over.
Oh.
Wow.
So that was fun. That ended that for a few years, and then a few years later, same thing. One of my neighbours had an old R6, and I was like, man, I wish I had a bike. He's like, I'm going to sell it. I need to buy a car like yours. Well, the funny thing was, my mum technically owned my car at the time, and I swapped him. I was like, yeah, Mum, I'll pay the loan off still.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I ever did, sorry, Mum, but I definitely swapped the car for the bike, and nobody could change my mind.
That was it.
And that was it. I learned how to do a wheelie the day I had a 600 because it was an accident, and I was trying to go fast. I went, boom. That was cool. So I just kept trying every single day until I got good at it.
Yeah.
And I was like everybody else, big long power wheelies up the highway and get in trouble over and over again. And then,
So
I don't know.
On an R6?
Yes, what was the actual?
Interesting.
Why is it F600? It was the model before they became an
Barry's
R6.
thinking about his R6 that he's got at home, so he's like, sorry, Mum's R6.
You've been told.
That's just all.
I do have a quick question.
Yes.
There's, a person that's asking a comment, asking a question.
What's
sorry.
that-
She's
what's
like,
their
ask
name?
TJ, is there much inclusion for women in the stunt world?
Yes, there
All
very
right.
much is.
Sorry, can I just, because you may not have been able to hear Shimmy, the question that was just asked, is there much inclusion for women in the stunt world? So,
Yes, so we have a couple of girls already that come out. Kayla, she comes out on her supermoto nearly every practice we have.
That's Kiki?
Yes.
On
Yep.
Instagram, yeah.
Yep, so she comes out, her and her partner, they come to every single practice and every single comp. There are a few more girls, but there's only a handful, like maybe 4 or 5 girls that ride at the moment, and we're really trying to encourage them to show up. There is another one. She's going to kill me. She calls me sister bro on all of my stuff. She's a mum. She comes out, brings her kids, and they cheer for mum while she comes out on her six.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
636.
awesome.
That's cool.
That's really good.
There's quite a few that are interested but afraid. So,
But it is, like, I know that it is getting better, because like myself, I follow quite a lot of, like, females
Yes.
in Europe, America,
Oh, of course you do, mate.
and stuff.
Me too.
Not OF. No, but like and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today as well,
Yes.
is because like you see the stunt communities and what goes,
There's
because
another question for that.
Well, we do want them. We very much encourage women. We encourage any beginners to come to the competition because we have 4 hours of practice before we have the comp, so anybody can join up. And if people are always worrying, like, am I good enough to be there? I'm not good enough. That's the whole point. If you're going to come out and learn how to do something, why wouldn't you want to ride beside someone who's
Knows how to do it.
very, very good at it? Like not me, but like some of the other guys out there are
That's cool.
amazing riders.
yeah.
That's the best person to take tips off instead of sitting in a cul-de-sac on your own trying to do it. You're at a fully insured racetrack that has ambulances and a full team of riders that want to help each other. So I do encourage any beginners or women, especially women, to come out because there aren't enough women in the sport.
Yeah, so for those of you that like don't follow TJ on social media, jump on, follow TJ, follow ASRC as well. That's his competition, and follow that. So he puts up all his posts for when his practices are, when his competitions are. We'll get through to that stuff later on, but yeah, it's man, he's given you guys an opportunity to get out there in a controlled environment to learn how to have fun.
Got them in America, and so all these riders we all have an ego over who's the best. No one here can prove it. Well, now you can.
Now you
Come
can.
out and win
Yeah.
a trophy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's the other thing. Going back to your roots, like how hard, like how much did you have to go through, like as a young rider, like trying to learn? You know,
I
like
quit my job.
we all know. Like, look, it's not like it's no secret that it's
Yep.
illegal to do all that stuff on the street, right?
It is, but there's places you can find little sneaky havens every now and again.
Yeah.
We had one called the Bat Cave, and
Cave.
because you had to go through all the bush to get to this old council car park that no one used, and it was right next to the highway, but it was surrounded by bushland, so we'd all go in there.
It's all overgrown.
Yeah, and everyone was there every weekend, and then I realised that if I just quit my job and lived at home with mum, I could ride every single day until I was one of the best. That was how my brain worked.
So
I went
and that's
out.
what you did.
I did. There was probably 3 solid years where I did 6 hours, 6 days a week, and I would go out there and ride. It might be 2 hours a day. It might be 6 hours a day. It was either until my bike broke or I did.
And
cool.
at that
Because
time,
I was just obsessed. That's all I wanted to do. I
Yeah.
wanted to say I'm one of the best riders.
Yeah.
In my discipline.
and at that time when you were doing that, did you have anybody to learn from?
I did.
Or were you doing
well,
it?
like I said, I still worked for Matt Mingo's stunt team.
Yep.
I worked with Lukey Luke, who was the only other professional stunt rider in Australia to do it full time.
Yep.
So those two, and they're good mates as well, and mates of mine. But they helped me learn a lot of tricks along the way. Pesci, who came out to my competition after nearly 7 years of being retired, he almost took out first place.
Wow,
He fell off one too many times in his final run. He
that's
came
pretty
second.
good.
He came
7 years and
Yeah, he'd only ridden the bike twice in
that's
7 years, and he came out and he took second place.
hey, goes to show, fam. Just got to get back on that bike.
And he was one of those riders that always told me, don't just ride one thing. Otherwise, you'll be really good at riding one bike.
But
Someone will give you something, let's say a sponsor gives you a different bike to ride and you're useless. You're like, oh, cool, I'm embarrassed now, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I would get on different bikes as a result of him. I remember, going back to my roots, I got in trouble in a cul-de-sac because I was training with one of my mates and some dude came off the highway on a red Honda and he's had a watch and then he rode up and down the road doing wheelies and someone reported a red Honda doing wheelies. When the cops pulled into the cul-de-sac, I happened to be riding a red Honda.
Oh.
It wasn't me, so I ended up leaving in the back of a police car. I lost my bike.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like.
Oh, they impounded your bike?
Yeah, I got it back, but they impounded that, and yeah, I got in a heap of trouble for that. And so I was supposed to ride a show, I think it was. And Pesci actually gave me his bike for like 3 months until I got mine back.
Oh man.
So I learned very quickly to ride a different bike because I had no choice.
Yeah.
And then that just became a habit for me. I liked swapping. I liked to see. I had a 954 as a stunt bike at one stage just to, because the OGs used to ride leader bikes. So I was like, I could do that. I could, but it was very hard.
Yeah, I could only imagine.
It was very hard, and it took one of my other mates to turn around and tell me, he's like, you were heaps better on your 636.
They're pretty
I was like,
common
oh,
bikes.
thank you, Alan. I'm going to go back to
They're
my
very common
636 then.
bikes.
Because I'm sad.
So do many
Well, I've
stunt...
just got another one.
Yeah, they're very common.
Funnily, it was my older one.
People use all the ninjas.
But
They're just the best bikes for it, to be honest.
Wow.
yeah, I've heard something about like they've got like really good torque or something
Yeah.
like that. Like it all comes down to like the engine and the torque and everything like that. So
Giant
for the
sprocket.
setup.
Yeah,
Giant sprocket, yeah.
but so I've had the 636, and I blew one up, and I put the 600 motor in, thinking, oh, it's the same thing. It's not. The 636 motor has so much pull that it, for all the circle wheelies and idle tricks, it's just ideal.
Yeah, okay.
That's why you see everyone on the whole planet loves them for stunt bikes.
yeah.
So that's what
Especially
they handle that like lower rev range
Yeah.
a little bit better.
Yeah, obviously you put extra fans on them.
Up in the corner
Yeah.
over there.
It's like, whoa.
Welcome, Trev.
Trev's corner.
Like right in the middle of TJ, like explaining something, but it's all good.
No, I'm gonna
He's like, I'm sick of that guy. Talks too much.
Stick behind the
I
corner.
do.
It's okay, Scott.
to get it.
A little more gear slash boss
Bikes.
specifics. Do they have smaller bikes, etc.? People might be too scared to use their own bikes, and are they under finance and stuff like that?
I'm guess. So
As in the
I'm going to
fire
guess
bikes.
that this is in regards to if they want to
Competition?
come out to your
Yep.
competition or something like that.
The competition, they do have to use their own bike. It doesn't matter what size it is or what kind or what bike.
Could be a Grom. Could
You
be
can come out. We got guys come out on Groms.
Oh yeah, we've seen him with the Groms.
Yeah,
We tried
TJ
that.
come out on
Not
a,
very well.
I think it's a CBR 250, and he took out third place of the whole competition
Yeah.
because he's such a technical rider on that tiny little bike. So you have to use your own bike, but you can use anything. You can come out on a Harley, you can come out on a jump bike.
Do you teach people to stunt?
I am in the process of putting together a coaching course.
This is what she's asking about.
Yes, so that will still mean you need to use your own bike, because just for insurance purposes, if I give you a bike and the bike fails, then I'm liable. So if you're on your own bike, I'm still going to scrutineer and check that it's capable, but it's still your own bike. And
Obviously, it comes down to personal preference on
Yes.
what you want to ride
And budget.
and things like that. But do you have like a suggestion on what would be like a good learner stunt bike for anybody that wants to get into it?
it depends how serious you want to take it. So like,
Like I know myself, like I'm looking at getting a DRZ. Like,
okay, good. If you said Grom, we were done. Groms are very fun. Groms are very fun bikes, but a lot of the time those tricks don't translate to a bigger bike.
yeah.
Because I guess if you're riding the Grom to do a stunt bike, you don't have any balls anyway. Therefore,
I've never owned a Grom.
even I've owned a Grom. Even
Turn the TV off.
I've owned a couple. Don't
I don't know what
worry.
you're talking about.
But
Oh,
they are
we're
very
going to
fun.
have a couple of good grabs for reels after this episode.
We've destroyed Groms. We haven't really done anything stunting on them. We've crashed them.
No, I've done heaps of that too.
Yeah.
I rode one brand new out of the showroom and smashed a taillight on my way out of the car park doing wheelies, just because I was like, these are cool, yeah, and they're like $3,000.
Oh.
And then, a couple of years later, after COVID, you can't buy a second-hand one for $3,000. And I got one out of the showroom because it was a demo model. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what would be like
I would
other than a Grom?
Yeah.
Like,
So any supermoto is great.
Yeah.
Because they're already torquey.
Yeah.
They're lightweight. You don't have to change very much. I had a 450 EXC.
And do they transfer to other bikes as well, like the tricks that you do on a sumo?
Yeah, I think so, because one of the guys in the competition, Travis, he bought a Dyna, like a Harley Dyna, not long before the comp, and he came out on his supermoto to compete, and halfway through the competition, he's like, I'm going to ride the Harley. So even in the main comp, he did half the comp on the motard, and then threw it away and got on the Harley and finished his run, which I would not have thought was even someone would be capable of making that much of a difference.
Yeah,
but clearly
that's a huge.
it translates
That's
if
a
you're
big jump.
If you're
That's
a talented
cool.
rider, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're not that different, except for 300 kilos in weight. They've all got wheels and handlebars.
They all roll.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. So like for an experienced rider,
I suggest, my son just bought one a couple of days ago actually. When people say what's a great bike in general, I tell them to buy an MTO7.
Yes.
But if you're ever thinking about doing stunts, an MT's already halfway there.
MTO7s are the...
They are
think they're the
torque
most-
monsters.
Yeah, they're the most...
So they're
yeah,
perfect.
it's like it's MTR7 and R7. It's
Yeah.
like everyone.
I don't think you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
one without an acro on it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still tease everyone because
Yeah.
we had to learn on 636s and FRIs, which they will scream at you and they're not quite as forgiving. But if you're going to, take a shortcut and be smart about it, buy something that's easier. And they are very easy. They're essentially a big Grom. Like if you got a Grom and then you water it heaps, you got an MTO7.
grows and then you just...
Yeah, it grows into
So
an MTO7.
that comes down to like
that-
riding position and the way the bike is actually set up, right? MTO7's
They're-
pretty
yeah,
close.
well, they're already upright.
Pretty close.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're upright. They got heaps of torque. They're a bit harder to drift, but suspension, you can fix that.
Yeah.
Suspension definitely needs to go. The
Yeah, a
suspension's
lot of
not
people. I've seen
good.
it snap a couple times.
Yeah, the front is...
But I mean, you can give me a stock MTO7 and I'll take your car park and be doing stoppies up and down it all day long and having a ball. And it's factory,
Yeah, that's...
So you don't need much for one of those.
So with I guess with drifting and stuff like that, what's the suspension change that you have to do? Like is
For me,
there
I
stock
stiffen
suspension?
the crap out
So
of
it
it.
has
Yeah.
to be stiffened up.
Yep. Otherwise, it's going to duck in and high side you. Which,
Yeah.
if you're ever trying to practice drifting and you're scared that it's going to high side, just open the gas. Because you would much rather low side because it does not hurt. As opposed to getting thrown up in the air out the other way.
I've got slide control on my bike.
Oh, you got
Shut
one
up,
of those,
Ducati.
Oh, here we
That's when it
go.
runs.
Don't stunt
Why
ride
are
that.
you doing it then?
No, we want him to stunt ride that. We want
That will break.
But we know.
I mean, I can say, I understand.
Don't worry,
It's been in the
it's
shop
broken
for
enough
Film
times
it,
already.
film it, please.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's the same thing though. People tease Harleys. Nah, they're always, if it's not leaking oil, it's it's run out. Like, but my Harley Sportster has been the strongest stunt bike I've ever had, and I've had a lot of bikes.
How long have you been on the Harley for?
I think it's nearly 6 years now. 5. Oh yeah, 'cause my daughter's 6. I bought it when she was just after she was born.
Yeah.
So yeah, almost 6 years. I did sell it at one point and went back to a 636. Just life was, I don't know. I think I went back to the Jap bike for a little while. It was a bit cheaper. And I think I lasted about 7 months before I bought it back off somewhere. I'm like, I want my bike back. Whatever it costs, give me it.
And what?
So I'll never. My 6-year-old daughter has told me that that's her bike. She's like, yeah, she's claimed
the
it.
Sporty?
Yep, that's hers.
That's cool.
So one day when she grows up, I'll rip that thing down to bits and pieces and make her a nice, pretty bike out of it.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah, we'll obviously need a lot of refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will be a full frame rebuild.
Yeah.
But still.
So what don't mind me, guys. I've just lost.
Pause.
And we're back.
I was going to say though, like the I don't know if you've seen like an XSR 700.
Yeah.
Or,
Which
well,
is essentially an MT, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, but
With more.
well,
A bit
this is
heavier
one
though.
of
Would that be?
It's just different
XSR?
styling.
the- It's just
different
like a
styling.
cafe
Different
style.
seating.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, cafe.
But that was a fantastic bike to wheelie.
Of course.
Like,
Yep.
I reckon that was one of the best bikes I've ever wheelied, especially when we put $3,000 worth of suspension through it. It changed everything.
Some rich people stuff that is. See, when I started stunt riding, I took a crappy cheap bike that I got off Marketplace, and I tricked the guy that it was broken because the tensioner was rattling. So I got it really cheap, and then I walked out to the car, tapped on the side with a hammer, and it fixed it after I signed the papers.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. See, yeah, oh, that's crap. I know. I'll sort it out. Tap, tap, tap. Wum, wum, wum. And I broke absolutely everything on it. We didn't have the budgets. A lot of people I give shit to now. Because all they do is carry on about, oh, change this, change it. Just ride the damn bike.
Yeah.
I mean, we put a big sprocket on it. That helps. But even before that, ride your bike and learn how to actually ride before you spend all this money on fancy parts.
Yeah, see,
it does help,
that's
but it's
does
not
help,
always
but
necessary.
That's a good tip, because like I've, and it's not this is not stunt riding, but like
Even in general, though.
I know like one of the boys is like, he's like all about racing, and he's just like feeding money into his bike, and it's like, bro, just learn how to ride the bike first.
Yeah.
Before you feed all the money into the
I
bike.
do like to tease people. Like a good friend would.
Look at all these tips you're learning off TJ.
Just helping a guy out, you know.
TJ's just giving out all the tips tonight.
There is another question.
Yep.
Are you keeping an eye on it, Trevor?
Come on,
Yeah.
pick it up.
He's trying to get a gap. Yeah, he's trying to get a gap.
You're meant to be doing the questions.
The Lockie question.
Oh, is there a possibility there is insurance we can pay for on the day to use our own bikes?
That's so when you come out to any of the ASRC competitions or practices, you have to pay, your track fees, your licensing, and your insurance is covered on that. Not for your personal damage to your bike, but your public liability or whatever it is you're racing. Yeah, yourself.
Don't bring your ZH2 out.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
Drink and drive.
No, he can bring it and let me have a turn, but I wouldn't suggest
There you go.
trying to cover it.
There you go.
Yep.
Teach us how you bike.
oh, you want to
Some
buy a
stunts.
bike?
No, I'm going to buy it.
yeah, swap. I want to see you on the Harley. TJ can go on the ZH2.
So hang on, all I heard actually when I got here was about how everyone's got all these excuses as to why they weren't riding, but I rode here in the rain tonight.
Yeah, I'm just
Well, it's
soft.
flat.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just soft.
I've got to bring the van just in case there's a call out.
In case I broke down.
That's what he said to me on Sunday. Is, I've got to take the van.
Just need to work.
I think he just wanted the air conditioning.
There was a call out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there you go. There was.
I was going to ride,
Lucky.
but my bike didn't start, so we were just past that one.
Oh, yeah.
See, Harleys are super reliable because I rode here on one in the rain, and I don't even know what you rode, but it didn't work.
Yeah, he rides. He's got broken bikes too. All his bikes are in his
They're not
lounge
that
room
I'm
at
very
the moment.
well looked after by my sponsors, hence why my bikes work so well.
I was going to look at, what is it? What was I looking at? A Harley Sportster S.
Sportster and the.
Oh, what's the S?
Is it?
Is that like the
The new one?
2024?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
They're rockets.
Would that be any good stuff?
No. Awesome, but the Nightster would be the Nightster, not the Sportster S. The Sportster S has got no tail on it,
Oh.
so it's very very short.
What about a V-Rod?
I mean, I was going to say no, but I've seen it done.
Yeah, I have seen
Yeah,
it done.
I've seen it done.
That brings me back. That brings me back to
Look,
the
you can
question.
do it on anything if you modify enough.
Yeah, no. It's
What would be the best? Yeah, well,
You want a brand new Harley to start
like a new Harley that it,
I
would be
would
the best
take the
thing
Nightster
to
at the
really-
moment if you want to look something that still has power. Or what else? Go
Just
get
really-
a Pan America. I know everyone laughs, but I love it. It's my favourite Harley. in
Yeah,
the whole range.
I
If you-
watched your
yeah.
video. I watched your YouTube video on
So
that.
Gasoline Alley give me access to all of their demo bikes.
Yeah.
And quite regularly, I'll call them. Hey, can I have the Pan Am? And I mean, weekly. My bike, I crashed my bike. Can I borrow one of yours? I'll go get the Pan Am.
Yeah.
There's one that literally is dedicated. If you go down there and ask him, hey, which Pan Am is TJ's?
that
They'll be like that one. It's like, "Bro, that's TJ's Pan Am.
Yeah, so for all of
It's an
you,
adventure bike.
It's an adventure bike.
Yeah, but it's like 140 horsepower adventure bike.
and jump on
You pull off some of that big chunky stuff, you got a really cool bike under there.
Jump on
Demolition.
TJ's YouTube channel for those of you
What
out
was the other
there.
one?
If you haven't seen a Harley
The
Pan
Nightster,
America,
which looks, it's got the same sort of motor, the Revolution.
what's the nice look like?
no, you're right.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
We're having our own conversation. Just do what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So for
He's still here.
those of you that don't know what a Pan America is, jump on TJ's YouTube channel. I think it's episode 18.
It's one of them. No, it'll be one of the earlier.
Oh, no, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
Oh, it might be
cool.
earlier
That's
anyway.
like a scout.
So the Nightster.
Like an Indian scout type
No,
thing,
it's
man.
not like an Indian at all.
No.
Marley.
Well, what are you
Whoa.
talking
Whoa.
about? Star-wise, it's very...
A Scout is like a Harley. not the other way around. Jesus Christ, this guy.
So is that Nightster? Is that a
He's
dyno?
on the rider.
The Nightster, so
whoa.
some of them are calling it the new dyno. It's not.
It's
It's
not a
still a
dyno.
Revolution water-cooled motor.
Yeah.
But look at the shape of them. They are very, very similar
It
to
looks old school, doesn't it?
Okay.
does.
It's a very old school bike, like retro
old school
stuff.
looking,
The old school looking.
except
That's,
the
Oh, there we
technology
go.
and it's so much different.
yeah, that's cool.
They water-cooled, which, most Harleys aren't, which makes them very fast.
What's the difference between that one and the other one I was talking about, the Sportster S? Like,
The Sportster S
it
is-
looks the same kind
They're
of...
very similar.
Why don't you go to the
But-
dealership and ask them?
Yeah, yeah.
You could maybe.
You don't have enough tail on the Sportster for you to say you do a wheelie and there's nothing to hold your butt in the seat. You're going to fall onto the wheel. The Sportster's great, trust
that'd
me.
be good though, bit of
I've
rubber
ridden
band.
them and I've thrashed the living crap out of them. They're fast bikes. I think I did 11.9 down the quarter mile at Race Your Mates on a factory one, like
Shit.
completely stock.
That's
Yeah,
good
okay.
going.
Yeah. And that was me doing burnouts for days before I took off down the track, but I couldn't believe how quick that little bike was.
Yeah.
Is that,
I'm
another,
thinking-
I felt-
one? Is that another one that Gasoline Alley loaned you?
Yes!
Is that the one?
No,
That's the Sportster Nightster.
that's the Nightster.
2024.
Put in Sportster S.
See, you still want hard. I just want an MT-07. That's it.
Like,
There's nothing wrong with that.
With no plate.
if you brought a...
You know, the highway speed.
No,
Oh.
see,
How old are you?
do you want to know the real reason the stunt competition exists?
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was riding around with all my mates thinking I was cool on the streets because everyone was, and I was like, ha, I can do it better than all of you guys. I do this for a job. Well, I did do it better, and me.
Oh,
It took-
no.
Yeah, they permanently. And they said the reason for it, yeah, that's the one. See, the tail's too short. It's not very comfy. That's a very different seat, but
Yeah,
it would be a hard bike to build
So-
into a stunt
You know
bike.
what? That's a good lesson to everybody out there, fam, as well.
You can. It's not easy to wheelie, though.
That's
So-
a
give
huge
up.
plug for why you should jump on the ASRC and jump on and contact TJ, because doing it out on the streets
Just gets you in
could-
trouble.
Yeah,
Well,
you're going to get in trouble.
Everyone's going to get hurt one day, even myself, and I have been. I got run over just before Christmas, and I wasn't even being stupid. I
Was
was,
that you in Scotland?
Yeah, no, because
yeah, I was.
you were hobbling
had a
around.
moon boot on, yeah.
Had the moon boot on.
And unfortunately for me, I had my partner on the back of my bike and everything when that happened. I just didn't see a car that I thought was stopping, and they didn't see me at all. And I pulled in front of a car that ploughed through a red light, and it was like, it was still my own fault. They just ran the red, you know what I mean? It only
yeah.
just turned red, and
Yeah.
I should have not pulled in front of something that was moving. So it was my own fault, but
Yeah.
I felt real bad that I had my partner on the back, and thankfully she got away with a little bit of whiplash, where I got ploughed by a whole car and took
Yeah,
my leg
it's
out.
like- yeah.
Man, super lucky.
Yeah,
that's
my
like-
bones don't break. I know it sounds silly, but I've tested this theory.
Many falls.
Yeah,
many bumps.
many times, head to toe I've landed on, and my bones don't break. So I'm pretty grateful for that one.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
man.
Yep, and so like Corrupt Customs, my mate Troy, he runs the motorcycle transport, full throttle transport. Before I got off the ground into the ambulance, he was there picking my bike up, took it to Corrupt, and before I was even in a moon boot, they had ordered all the parts and fixed my bike for me. So,
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, and because my biggest fear then was it's Christmas, I'm not going to be able to fix my bike. I'd only just got it fixed after some other stuff I'd done, breaking it, doing wheelies. I was devastated about my bike. I'm laying on the ground looking at my bike crying. I'm like, I'm going to go back to my bike.
Like, don't worry about my leg.
Yeah,
it's
and
just
that's
my
what
bike.
Benny's like, don't worry about your bike, I got it covered. And
Man.
a week later it was fixed. So here's me. I couldn't even walk yet, and my bike was sitting downstairs ready to go.
Yeah.
That was the best Christmas present ever.
So that's good.
that's
Obviously, you know, with your sponsors and stuff like that, it's not just sponsorships. You've created really good relationships
I've got
with
yes,
those guys.
and all of them are, to be honest, even the fresher ones, because I don't see the point in partnering with people just to get something.
Yeah,
And if I've got nothing to offer them back, well then it's really not going to work.
yeah,
So the people that I have, like Corrupt, Benny, the owner of Corrupt, that guy, he's fixed my bike when I barrel rolled it at a show, and I didn't have a dollar to my name at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I was still trying to make something out of nothing, and I'm like, cool. I've just totaled my bike crashing at a show, so everything I just made from riding, I've got to throw at it,
Yeah.
and it's still not enough. But I've got a show next week.
Yeah.
So not only is he like pulling me in and helping me out and saying, look, worry about it later, you're good to go.
yeah.
And he never made me pay for most of those. It's just, here you go, man. Here's your bike. Go do what you do. We love you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
that's cool.
And it's the same.
Something to aspire to, kids.
Well, it's all about relationships. If you look after each other, then It's just going to be a better
Yeah, and
situation. isn't it?
that's life in general, right?
Well, like I said, I go to
you
Gaston Alley, take what I want.
Treat
like,
people the way that you want to be treated, and
Yeah.
you know that all comes back.
Be grateful. People aren't grateful, they expect.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that they deserve something. In my mind, I'm a guy who does something that isn't really a job and
Yeah.
calls it a job. And some people actually support me for it, and that's great.
Yeah, that's
like,
great.
I'm grateful for every little bit of that because, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a job.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know,
Even though
I'm out here
even though
grinding,
you're out there
yeah,
grinding,
every
you're
day.
you're driving from Sydney to Queensland
Oh,
overnight.
that's
you know,
only what you
things
see.
like that.
Myself and my partner, we are grinding day and night to make
But
this
it's-
dream happen.
And it's like even like the conversation that we had the other day, like when we were talking about, you know, people that are trying to aspire to do something. Everybody's like, oh, you know, I hope this works. I hope it's like hope
Stop
doesn't,
hoping, bro.
Hope doesn't get you
Go
anywhere.
do it. Yep.
Like you
gotta-
have
you
to
gotta
get
take
out there,
action.
and you've got to take that leap of faith.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to jump off the cliff.
That's right.
And see if you can swim.
And that was what I did by leaving the team, because that was terrifying to me. As far as I was concerned, I was on the biggest team on the planet, and it is. Essentially, for stunt rider, there isn't a bigger team. So everyone sort of looked at me like I was crazy for leaving, because what else is there to go to? I said, well, I'm going to create something that's mine. Might not be as big as this, but I get to do it my way. I get to build what's mine.
Yeah.
But it's that leap. I used to tell everyone, I'm only Mingo's backup dancer. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, why aren't you famous? I'm just a backup dancer.
Yeah.
That's his show. It's his team. I'm just over here dancing in the background.
That's a good way to look at it.
And it was really cool though. Like, I had massive experience out of that. I travelled the whole country. I rode supercars for years and years and years. Like heaps of experience. So the best part of that now is all I'm doing is the same thing, but my way.
Yeah.
And for getting my own events and getting my own support.
And that's it. And if you didn't go out there and take that leap of faith, then
Yep.
you know.
Well, like that Sydney trip, you saw the end half that was all work, but we left a little bit early to spend a day with my daughter down south, and then we went and slept at Bondi Beach just because I'd never been there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I said to Nat, like, where do you want to go? She's like, well, we're going to get a hotel, but we've got a fully decked out van. Why don't we
Pretty awesome place to
reap
wake
the
up.
rewards? Yeah.
Like that's a pretty
All the
awesome place
joggers
to
you-
wake
you were
up.
saying
was
running
bad.
past and you're like,
And I'm butt naked in the back of a van, thinking, I hope that curtain's still up. Like, because the only thing I haven't done properly is put a proper curtain in. I got a real big beach towel that I just
Right.
sort of tuck into the roof line in, and it stays
falls
there.
out in the middle of the night.
Every
then
now
you
and again it does.
You wake up in the morning.
And here's me just kicks it out and laying there, full spread eagle.
Bro, you might have to get something to put over that big TJ stunt sign on, on the side of your van, so when you wake up in the someone's like, oh, TJ stunts, nutsack.
We've seen way too much of that guy.
Oh, I know where to find him.
I know, so that might help me get more,
Followers.
reach.
Hey,
Yeah, more followers.
Yep.
Another
All publicity is good publicity,
Well,
I believe.
there it is.
Hey.
There it is.
that's
So-
is that one
someone
of your,
said it.
that's one of your mottos, isn't it?
There it is.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. So if it's my nuts, it is what it is.
What else you got, Trev? You got anything else going on there?
Do we have any other questions before we?
away from the nuts.
They were ages ago, but
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter.
Is a 50cc pizza delivery scooter any good to something?
Is this?
What's his name?
Velvet.
Oh, it's Velvet.
no, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not velvet.
Trev, are you reading properly?
Velvet and Chester.
Chestnuts.
Who is it, Jim?
Well, look, to answer the question, you still can wheelie that.
Yeah.
I, once upon a time, rented a 50cc scooter in Service Paradise, and I got in trouble for doing wheelies through Cover Life.
There's a lot of
Hey, hold on a second. Wait. Do you have a story where you didn't get in trouble?
No. No, well, now I do. Now I've decided to stay off the streets.
No, but that's like, and that's
Before
good,
that,
and that's
I
why.
was as stupid as everybody else, and I kind of want people to know that, because you don't just get here.
Yeah, that's right, and that's one, and
Naturally.
that's one of the reasons
I was
why
forced to. I was
wanted
forced
to talk to you too, is because we get to ask you these questions, and
Yeah.
people get to see that side of it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's probably people out there that like see the stunt community and see stunt riding and think, oh, you know, like.
They're on the news every day for these little electric bikes doing wheelies in traffic, dirt bikes doing wheelies,
So-
guys doing
Gold Coast.
wheelies up and down the M1.
Oh,
And once upon a time, I've been them.
Yeah.
I was going to say I was lucky I didn't get hurt, but I still got in heaps of trouble.
people didn't have dash cams back then, whereas now there's dash
Dash
cams.
cams, yeah.
You're
Mobile phones.
Oh, yeah.
They're all Karens now. Back in the day,
Karen,
Well-
Karen is a hot
get
topic.
smacked for talking.
It's funny you say that, right? Because you see it everywhere. Like especially like I live in Redcliffe, and there's heaps of it at the moment.
Yeah.
There's heaps of like bike life. But so
Yeah, how do you know?
I've seen a few interviews. Like I've watched a few like YouTube things with like content creators talking to different like youngsters around Australia,
Yes.
talking about bike life and stuff. And one of the things that always seems to come up is we just want somewhere we can do it.
And that's 100% what I used to always complain.
Yeah.
Is that? Do you think that's real? Is that realistic in this day and age?
It is.
Like,
No, well, it is. Queensland Raceway made it possible by giving me the opportunity to create monthly practices. If those practices get busy enough, we'll get more of them.
yeah,
We just need to keep proving that people will
Turn
do
up.
the right thing and turn up.
Yeah.
Because that was what they said to me when I got raided and lost my bikes. They
Yeah.
said, mate, look, you were the highest, what's the word? Like, I was the person that they
you
knew.
were the most wanted.
Well, they knew that everybody would see me get in trouble.
Yeah.
And they're like, and what we hope to achieve from that is that they will see if you can't get away with it, nobody can get away with it. You're all going to get in trouble eventually, or you're going to get hurt. Well, let's hope you get in
That's
trouble
wild,
first.
though. That's
So-
wild.
Yeah, the most relevant.
The worst part is they were right, because they put so much fear in me after losing my dream bike. I wanted a Bussa my whole life, and they took it off me.
Yeah.
They put so much fear in me that I went out and intentionally was either going to quit riding altogether or come up with a way to make sure this
Find
didn't
a way
happen
to do
again.
it.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was just by chance that it all fell together at the right time with the right people
Yeah.
supporting me, and that's why like I do get the support with the sponsors I have for the competition and for the racetrack, because these are people that want to see everyone off the street, just like every other discipline.
Yeah.
You can go to a motocross track and ride your dirt bike, so most people don't go bush no more and get in trouble.
No.
If you can come to a racetrack on a Thursday afternoon and do 2 hours of practice on your stunt bike,
Yeah.
completely legal and it's quite affordable,
Yeah.
And
why wouldn't you do it?
You know what? This is one of the things that I hope like gets out there for anybody, you guys that are watching. Please share this, right? Because this is one thing. Like this is what TJ's doing. He doesn't do this stuff for himself. He's doing it for the community. He's doing it for his community.
A little
the
bit
stunt
for me
community.
too. I like to ride with you guys.
But you know, but that's what I've seen
Yeah,
from you.
it is.
That's
It's
why
about the
I've been
community.
following you. That's one of the reasons why I got you on here, is because you're putting in work
Yeah.
for other people. And you know, like I said, I've watched content creators on YouTube, on other places, and like I said, it's the same thing over and over again. But there's nobody out there
Yeah.
that's trying to
And
do what they want.
I think that's what
and
worked.
you're the person that's doing it. So, man,
but like I
commend you
said,
for that.
thank you. But it is because I had the support of the right people.
Yeah.
And I think the reason the competition worked was, and I actually said it from the beginning, we tried to make it, let's help promote me being out on my own, TJ Stunts Presents. That's cool. But if I made it about me, half those riders wouldn't turn up. Because everyone has their version of who I am, or you see someone on social media,
Yeah.
you only see that highlights of their life. You don't know whether some people don't like me, and that's okay. They don't know me.
You can't be like,
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if I'm like, hey guys, come and do this, it's all about me, they're not going to turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I pulled myself out of it and said, cool, I want a stunt competition. First rule, I'm not allowed to enter. Sucks. I really want
That
to.
does suck.
I want it, and everyone's like, bro, you should enter, but I can't, because then what happens if I do win something? Then the
great.
credibility's out the window.
Great.
You know what I mean?
It's the
You can
same-
stand on the
same
top
with-
and go, I won.
Yep.
It's the same with me. Like,
But you can do the
But then I lost
you can do
too.
the halftime shows.
Yeah, and that's the plan. Is to do entertainment and sort
Yeah.
of show people this is my plan and this is what I want to see you guys do, and then some of them are going to kick my butt, but that's okay. This is how I do it. This is what I expect to see, and if you're better than me, awesome.
Yeah.
You're probably going to win. You're going to be up there, and eventually I hope that I'm not one of the best riders out there, because our sport has lacked in the fact that America, Europe, all these other countries have competitions, so people are just insane. We don't have anywhere to ride without getting arrested. So
Yeah.
we don't build our skill set quite as well.
Yeah.
Even when I spent all of those years there, I was still out there by myself. If
Yeah.
I had 50 other people to ride with, I'd be even better.
Yeah. So again, like to anybody out there that's watching it that has any other kind of platform, please share this. Like I want people to realize what TJ is doing, right?
And come
Like,
ride.
Yeah.
Come ride with us.
Go
Don't
ride
be
with him,
shy.
enter.
Don't be afraid of whether you're good enough. I promise, if you're not good enough, I'll help you be good enough.
Or he'll laugh at you.
Look, if I tell you, how do I do a wheelie? Well, what you do is you hold the clutch in, you rev it all the way to the end, dun, 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 and let go. It will do a backflip.
But
If you do that, if you listen and you believe that, well, maybe you shouldn't do it. But
But you
I do like. I do make jokes and you know.
no,
like,
but it's serious. You want people to learn safely.
it is, and like I said, like I only met you for the first time
Yeah, a
3
couple
days
days
ago. I've only known from what I see of you on
Yep.
on social media and stuff like that, but even from talking to you on Sunday and just talking today, like I can tell that you just genuinely like are trying to help your community,
And I'm passionate. I love it.
and that's what we're about.
Yep.
Like that's all we're about. I don't care who you ride with. I don't care what you ride. Like we just need to come together.
Yeah.
Like and that's all it's about. And it's really good to see that, like, especially in your, like, I'm going to say niche, like, because in
Yes,
Australia
well, it is,
that's
it
what
is,
it
yeah.
is. Like it is a niche. Like it's so good to see that there is somebody out there that is trying to make it better for everybody else.
And there's so much talent that no one's aware of.
Oh man,
Honestly, there
a
are
lot of
riders.
talent.
Yep.
There's people out there. That,
oh
There's guys out there capable of doing what I do for a living. They just don't have any way of being put into the front.
Yeah.
Without being on social media trying to get the clout of doing it up the street.
yeah.
But the amount of people I see in Logan, no helmets, no gear on, just
Oh,
doing
it
wheelies up the
scares the shit
street,
out of me,
and I'm
yeah.
like, you can ride.
Right.
100%, there's no doubt that you
But
can't
yeah,
ride.
but bro, put a helmet on,
Yeah, but
please.
not even in
Yeah,
between traffic.
put some
like-
shoes on at least. The amount of kids that I've seen in Redcliffe wearing jandals doing wheelies up the road.
That's coming
like,
from a Māori. We don't like wearing shoes.
alright, at least I put shoes on when I ride. Though. I don't wear jandals when I ride.
I have.
Well done, boy.
oh yeah.
Look, I didn't say I'm perfect. I just it's not a it's a do as I say, not as I do type of situation.
No,
But
it is.
I do try to lead by example these days. But
It's the same thing, right? Like you get squids and whatever.
Yep.
Like me personally, I'm someone that rides in gear all the time.
Yep.
That's just the way I am. But I don't care if you ride in shorts, or I might tease you to my friends afterwards.
It's like I seen today. He was wearing had a helmet on, gloves on, jacket on. It's like great, looking fantastic.
Football shorts,
Then you
footy
go down,
shorts.
Footy shorts, thongs.
I know I've seen
on
it so
the
much.
M1. I'm like,
That's pride.
Yeah, but it's hot, bro.
That's okay.
Oh,
I
though.
honestly
Nah.
think the same. I'm like, just take the jacket off.
I'm like,
There's
why are
no
you wearing
point at this.
gloves? Why are you wearing a
I
helmet?
said that's
Like,
fine though,
why?
because if he comes off, it just means he won't walk again. You know.
Nah,
unless he's got arms.
shorts is one thing. I burnt my leg on my DR exhaust once, and that was it. I never wore shorts.
Big Rom
again.
did that.
My missus
Right.
learned very quickly about the Harley exhaust.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting on the bike, picking up from work. She comes running up behind me to hug me.
Ooh.
I was like, no. She just was burnt the whole chrome. You know, chrome gets hotter than a normal exhaust too. It's just sears instantly.
Randics.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you just learnt a valuable bike lesson.
Don't-
Especially on a Harleys. Go around the other side.
Yeah, that was that. I learned that. I think I learned that within the first 3 weeks.
We've
of,
all
like,
done it.
Yeah.
I've still got scars from exhaust burns. Everyone does. It's worse when you crash a stunt and you're stuck under your bike.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
actually.
so that's one quick tip. Try not to practice stunts on your own.
Yeah.
Because I went over the bars this one time and my bike ran my head over. And because we disconnect the tip over sensor so that
kept
it doesn't cut out while we're riding, doing stunts, it kept rolling with my head stuck under. I was squealing. It was Lukey Luke pulled the bike off me. He'd only come up for a quick visit, pop in, say hey. I'm like, let's go for a ride, and I nearly died.
Oh.
That's
Yep.
wild.
He saved me that day because if I was out there by myself, which I usually was
Yeah.
every other day, maybe I was showing off a little harder, trying a bit harder with him around because I looked up to him at the time. You know,
Yeah.
he was a big deal when I was a nobody.
That's wild.
I've been thinking about this. I saw one of you, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember where you were, but you're like, the things that I have to do to practice. And it was a video of you, right? Like you were
Through the
riding
bush.
through bushes and then you ended up in like
In
a
the
canal.
water and then,
Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean,
Well, technically it's a
technically
legal
you're not,
spot.
yeah,
'cause
it's not like
on the road.
Yeah, it's not a roadway, is it?
Yeah. And if the cops can't see you and don't know you're there and you're not going to cause any issues for anybody else, well, technically it's legal
Yeah.
until I'm told otherwise.
Oh,
Yeah. And I hate when I get told otherwise. It's very expensive.
Actually, this is kind of a segue.
Segway.
There's that word again.
Boom.
So I'd be interested to get your take on this, right?
Yep.
So we threw it out a couple of episodes ago, and it is going to be coming up, right? We're going to have a Q&A with QPS.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
I love QPS. They're my friends.
Oh, you know, just in general, right? Like,
Look, I don't really have much nice to say to them after they did what they did with mine. There was
Oh, look,
there was
no,
more
no,
than
no,
one
I'm
way
not
that
saying-
could have been done, and they
I'm
didn't
not
do
saying
it very-
about that. What in terms of, you know, the
Community.
motorcycle community is growing
Yep.
at a very huge,
I
very
think
fast
they
rate.
should definitely focus on the people that are being absolute idiots and riding around with no helmets and stuff on. That's for sure.
Yeah, but do you
But-
think that what we're doing, like trying to form a relationship to be able to ask questions and find out what are the right ways to go about things, and, you know, do you think there's any benefit from that?
I think it's always a positive to have them on side.
Yeah.
So like if you're having an event and you know, I agree with that. As to like what you can ask them, that's a cop by cop situation.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
that person that you're speaking to might be a real good dude who's like, oh look, this, these are the rules, all good. Then you get another one who just decides to make them up as he goes. Because I've
Yeah.
had every situation. In Sydney, I had a cop trying to pick a fight with me just after we got there. He's walking up and he just did not like the look of me. He's walking up like on my feet, like I could feel him breathing on my neck. I'm looking and he's like staunching. And I was just with my missus. I wasn't dressed up like trying to be trouble. We were just running around like tourists with a little
Yeah.
camera taking photos like everyone else there. Comes across the front of me when that didn't work, walks in front, stops, tries to staunch me again. I didn't react because I'm like, look, I actually felt more in danger. So I don't have a lot of love because some coppers are great.
Yeah.
And I've got some that when we finished the stunt competitions, yelling out to me in the street, stopped and had a great chat about it and they loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then there's others that just don't like you anyway. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
what you do.
and look,
so
I
they're going to
think
pick on
that's
you
gonna be-
regardless.
Yeah.
So I've always had a love-hate relationship.
Oh, well, that's good. It's good to get a different point of view
Yeah,
about, you know.
look, I always think give them respect, but there's a point where if you're getting none in return, well,
Oh, look,
then there's only so much you can do for that particular person.
everything that we do is just all about trying to help the community, right?
Yeah.
So anything that we can do, whether or not you get a smallest piece of information or, you know, a lot of information, I think anything is good.
I think any support you can get is great.
Yeah.
If you can get them involved in support.
Yeah.
Because even if it is, you know, a select few that are actually good,
That are
that's
actually
fine.
good.
You'd still rather have the good ones in your
Yeah.
in your corner
In your
that
corner,
we get
yeah.
some
that at least
to-
backing you up
Yeah.
when they say, oh, we've got to
Yeah.
call out because the On2 crew got a night on. Oh yeah, no worries. When we've got contact for those guys, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
you know, they can actually reach out and say, hey, we've heard there's people being idiots. We'll call you first because we're sending a whole bunch of guys out if it keeps
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
So that'd be good because they come out to FNR a few times.
Yeah.
They have a chat
They
with
turn
us,
up to my comp.
and they just go, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yep.
not much. Yeah, you guys.
Some
are
of them
fine."
love it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to love come and watch us do wheelies in the industrial areas. But these days, they don't love them do wheelies in industrial areas, so I'm too scared to do it anymore.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
well-
another reason why we're, you know, doing these things. Like you've got doing the stunt riding classes and everything. You want to, you know, you got that once a month, and that's why we're doing like the track days and the happy laps and all that kind of stuff. You know,
Positive
trying
light, yeah.
Trying to pull it off the street and putting it onto a track, safe
Yes.
environment where it's legal. You know,
And
you can go for
hopefully
your
you
life.
stop getting that backlash because they instantly see us as a negative,
Yep.
whether it's stunts or just motorcycling in general.
Whatever
Where
you
I
do.
think the same thing.
Yeah.
You put it out there so that they can see us in a more positive light.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
And that's for me, that's what I want to do, right? Because like I said, the motorcycle community is growing so fast.
Yes.
And I think the bigger it gets, there's so much more room for the negative stuff to get in there. So if we can keep creating that positive stuff, that's
That's all you can do.
I think so.
I
Anyway.
lean into positivity every chance I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
on
we-
that note, I think we're going to be running out of battery on.
Yeah, we're cranking. So that's what I was going to
Bloody
get to.
chatterbox.
So, man, so what have you got coming up?
This weekend I will be out at Queensland Raceway for Drift Outlaws. That's a night event on
Oh, they got
Saturday
another
night.
drift event?
They have a lot of.
Yeah, this is cool. They're going to be full neon, so every car out there has to have underglow.
Oh, wow.
the
Actually,
track's gonna
that'd be
be-
pretty good.
The track's going to be like laid out. You know, they use a big rope to lay it out. That's all going to be like glow in, glow sticked up.
Oh, that'd be
They
sick.
got the pyro flame thing, so it's going to be quite a spectacle. I'll be out there doing shows.
Yep.
I need to find an underglow kit before then because I used to have them in my. Yeah, Saturday the 5th of April. I think it starts at 4 p.m.
Just eBay. That's eBay.
Yeah, but I need it now.
Amazon.
There is a person that works for the Underglow Lights person that's reached out to Kerry.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I was talking
Okay,
to someone.
I need someone to the next 24 hours. Thank you.
Don't look at me.
All right, but in regards to
If you're watching this,
in regards to
get in contact with me.
ASRC, what have you got coming
Yep.
up this year?
ASRC, our next stunt competition is in 20 days. April 20th at Queensland Raceway, we have stunt games, and that's the one that's a whole bunch of. We got 4 hours practice, and then we got 5 separate competitions. We got a drift Kana, drift limbo, stoppie competition, circle wheelie competition. What was the last one? Something to do with motorbike stunts.
And more stunting.
And more stunted. And yes, so come out to that one, and then at the end of the year,
Longest scrape? Is that what it was?
there aren't enough people that can do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless I'm out there with the ZH2.
Exactly right. Or the
Yeah,
Grom.
scrape that.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Bring your Grom, I don't mind. Or our big championship round that we had last year, we're going to have that every year annually. So the October 11, that's the big championship, and that's where you'll see all of the best stunt riders in Australia battling it out for the crown.
And where's the best place for people to go to see what you're up to?
Well, you can follow my Instagram personally, TJ Stunts. That's all it is, with Z on the end, not an S. Or ASR competition on Instagram also. That will give you all the information on when the next rounds or practice days are coming up. But I also share all that information on my own personal.
Yeah, like I said, this guy is grinding. He's like always on his socials. He's
No
always
sleep, gang.
Hey, and that's legit no sleep
Yeah,
as well.
it is.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, so he's always on his socials. So jump on his socials if you want to follow anything that he's doing. I'm sure if you hit him up, the first time I hit him up on Instagram, he like messaged me back pretty quickly. So
Yeah, I kind of live on there.
Yeah,
It might be an addiction, but it's good because you can access me, which is
yeah, and that's that's what's good about it as well. Is like you're actually getting in touch with people that are trying to contact you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I want the community to grow, so if I need to be available to them.
Yeah.
So that I can answer those questions, so they turn up.
And also, I'm going to keep in touch with TJ over the next year and just keep following him and stuff. So anybody on On2 that want to know anything about TJ, send me a message, and then
Send me one.
Send TJ one straight away.
Straight away.
But yeah, he's doing some really good things. So get out there and support him because he needs it. Like he's grinding really, really hard. Just like the support that we get from you guys, pass it on to TJ. We try and pass it on to everybody that we get on here. I'm super happy that you've been our first guest since we've been doing the live.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks
for
heaps,
having
brother.
me.
Before we go though, give your sponsors a plug.
Yes, I'm supposed to know this off the top of my head. So, like I said, Krupp Customs take care of all of my mechanicals. They also have Twisted Industries, which are all your crash protection for your Harley Davidsons. Gasoline Alley, if you want a new or used Harley, go see them. Keep an eye on my YouTube as well, because when the 25 models come out, I will be doing my own reviews on all of those bikes. Ooh. Yep. Which some of, like I said, the Pan America I took to the beach.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I crashed it. And then Moto National, so they support me. I've got aero helmets, I've got 5 gloves, Falco boots, and I'll have Berwick leathers coming soon. I've got some brand new jackets in the works, so I'm pretty keen on those.
Sweet.
Yep. So those guys,
That's really
they
good.
all help me do what I do.
Yeah.
They all support me with products and financially to help me grow. And I've got some new sponsors coming, but I can't tell you who they are yet. That's a very good deal. So when you said a new van,
Interesting.
I think
And for anybody out there,
Nice.
for anybody out there that does want to support him as well, like
yeah,
get
I'll
in
send
touch
you my
with
bank
him.
details in the link below.
Just paper. Just paper.
Right.
That doesn't even work for me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's worth supporting. Like if you're in the motorcycle scene, support TJ. He's an
I'll
awesome
support
guy.
you.
Like I said, I only met him a couple of days ago, but he's a genuine person. I'm really glad that we finally met, and I'm looking forward to like keeping our friendship going and just following and seeing what you're doing, man. I just I wish you all the best in
Thank
what
you,
you've
brother.
got, and I hope you reach all your goals.
I will be grinding until I do.
Yeah.
I might
Like
be
we
sitting
all
at this.
are.
I
We're
might
all
be sitting here
grinding.
in 20 years saying I'm going to get there, but
It's
stopping.
been another good talk, Sherbs. Till next
talk.
time, Pez.
oh,
Thanks again for coming in. And remember, fam, thanks again for tuning in. Always make sure you hit that notifications, give us a follow, hit the, what's the other one?
Like and subscribe, yo.
Like and subscribe. I
Come
get
on,
this
you've been
wrong
all
every
over this.
time.
And turn the
Like,
bell on.
subscribe, follow, hit the notifications, and wait till next time. Thanks again for supporting us. We can't do it without you. And remember, On2 Crew, where passion comes to life. Peace.
See you, fam. Oh. And he didn't give anything away again. This is
Oh my God! There's giveaways coming.
Oh, that's great.